Every year, millions of us take a perfectly good gourd, scoop out its guts, and perform some questionable back alley surgery on it. But have you ever stopped to think about how weird that is? Well, the truth is, this tradition is about scaring away ghosts, but not just any ghost. It's about warding off the spirit of one specific man. A man so legendarily awful, so colossally cheap, that after a lifetime of mischief, heaven locked its gates and hell was afraid he'd try to take over. This is the legend of Stingy Jack. Our story starts in an old Irish village, home to a man named Jack. Now, Jack was known throughout the land, but not for being a great warrior or a wise leader. Jack was known for being an absolute scoundrel. He was a master manipulator, a notorious drunkard, and a trickster of the highest order. He was so cheap, they called him Stingy Jack. The kind of guy who could drink your cellar dry and then convince you that you owed him money. His reputation for being awful spread so far that it reached the underworld. The devil himself heard tales of this Stingy Jack and thought, now this is a soul to add to my collection. So, one fateful night, the devil appeared before Jack to inform him that his time was up. Now, a normal person would be terrified. They would beg and plead. Jack just saw an opportunity.
All right, but you wouldn't deny a man one last drink, would you?
The devil, perhaps a bit intrigued by Jack's audacity, agreed. Jack drank his fill, and when the bill came, he turned to the devil and said,
I seem to have forgotten my wallet. But you're a powerful fellow. How about you turn yourself into a silver coin? I'll pay the man and you can change right back. He'll never know.
The devil, probably thinking that's a weird request, but whatever, transformed into a shiny silver coin. True to his trickster nature, Jack snatched the coin and shoved it deep into his pocket, which happened to contain a silver crucifix. The holy symbol stripped the devil of his power, trapping him. Jack refused to let him out until the devil promised to leave him alone for 10 years. Furious and a bit humiliated, the devil agreed. 10 years to the day, the devil returned. When the devil demands Jack comes with him, Jack asks for a last snack.
I'll come quietly. But please, as a final request, could you fetch me an apple from that tree? I'm starving.
Now, the devil was an eternal, powerful being, but it seemed his brain was as useful as tits on a bull. So the devil scrambled up the tree. The moment he was in the branches, Jack whipped out his knife and quickly carved crosses all around the trunk. Trapped again, the Lord of the Underworld was forced into another deal.
You want down? Then you have to promise that you will never take my soul, no matter what happens.
Utterly defeated and embarrassed, the devil agreed and vanished in a puff of smoke. Eventually, Jack's life of swindling and mischief comes to an end. He heads to heaven.
Hi. Is this heaven?
Ah, yes, Jack. Here you are. Let's see. It says here you're a liar, a drunkard, a cheat, a swindler. Why are you even here? Your list of misdeeds is longer than a CVS receipt.
A what? Never mind. Off to hell then. Sorry, can't stay here. We made a deal, remember? I can't take your soul. Then where am I supposed to go? Dunno. Back to Earth? But it's dark out there. Yeah, catch. What am I supposed to do with a burning lump of coal? Jack, why do you have a carved turnip in your pocket? Conned it off an old man before I died. He mumbled something about it being the only thing he had to feed his 8 starving children and ailing wife. Or something like that. You really are the worst.
From that day on, he was known as Jack of the Lantern, or Jack-o'-lantern, cursed to wander in the eternal darkness between worlds. Now, you might be asking, what the heck does any of this have to do with pumpkins? And my question for you is, why do you like pumpkin spice latte, huh? The thing tastes like suppressed trauma and bad decisions. But your terrible tastes aside, In yesterday's video, we discussed how the Irish potato famine led to Irish immigrants migrating to America, bringing their fall customs with them. In this new world, they found something round and orange that was everywhere. Like, trip over them in fields everywhere. Back in Ireland, they carved turnips. But carving a turnip isn't art, it's construction. The thing feels like it's made out of regret and concrete. Pumpkins, however, were huge. You can carve a face that people can actually recognize. Second, they're practically hollow, making them easy to scoop out. Most importantly, they're soft. You can scoop them without spraining your wrist or accidentally stabbing your thumb. And the leftovers were edible. You could roast the seeds, bake the flesh, or feed it to livestock. As communities settled in, that eerie glow migrated from farm lanes to front porches. The culture machine did the rest, and bit by bit, the pumpkin became the face of the holiday. And that's why we carve pumpkins. Tomorrow, the mood gets a bit darker. We'll be exploring a book that led to unimaginable horror. Join me for the story of The Hammer of Witches, the book that doomed 50,000 innocent people.